Hello, this is the TradeSet U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview and Domestic Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Monday, the 20th of March, 2017, ending Friday, the 24th. 2 full trading weeks left of March. No holidays still. I was hoping coming into this month we would get some volatility. Obviously, we haven't really seen it. We'll talk about that when we look at these charts. But there's still 2 full weeks left in March. March and April are usually great trading months. So where's the volatility? This is one of the things I think has been the most disappointing is whether you like Trump or not, I think everyone thought that we would see some market volatility either way, up or down, maybe both, with a complete shift in U.S. domestic policy. And instead, these markets have been very narrow intraday, very little volatility, the VIX sitting down where it is. We'll look at that in a minute. So I think if there's a disappointment factor so far, it's not so much that you can say the market's done great things or bad things over the last couple of months. It's just that the trading activity has been absolutely horrid, some of the worst I've seen in years. And we're just the opening hour, opening 90 minutes. Sometimes the ES stuck in a 4 or 5 point range for that whole period. That's just very unusual. So at some point, you hope that shakes free. This week, we have a wide open week. There's not too much for economic data. We don't have a Fed meeting like we did last week. We don't have options expiration. So in theory, the middle of this week could be more interesting. The one thing I'll point you out in advance for next week is that next week, Friday, is the 31st. So the Friday is the last day of the month, the last day of the quarter, and a Friday. So that's probably going to be pretty boring because they wait for the statements to print by that point. So if we need some excitement, maybe this week will be the middle of the week and next week the middle of the week. Monday this week, just so you know, first day of a new option cycle after a triple expiration. Not typically the most exciting day possible, but we'll see what happens. All right, so let's go through it. Here's the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market and futures form. I mean, you're up 10 points in the last month, and you really haven't been high to low anywhere. I mean, 40-point range for a month is not much. And the intraday candle was very tiny. And prior to that, we had 1 week up. And other than that, it was very flat since December 1st. So it's been not very interesting. All right, let's go through all the stuff we talked about. Crude oil up 3 cents to close at 48.78 on Friday, still under the 10-day moving average. Gold up $1.40. Not much there. S&P cash index down 3. Now, note that we have, again, and this will be the third in a row. This is very unusual, by the way. So if you usually look at a 9-month daily chart of the S&P, you don't see 4 13 sell signals. But we had one back in September, and that kind of topped us out for a while, pulled us back until November. Then we had one in December that flattened us out for a while. The interesting thing is that even though that one never really rolled us over, we got another one in February right on that climb up, and the market ignored it. To see that many sell signals and only have 2 of them work, and the second one back-to-back doesn't do anything, that's just really interesting. Well, now we're 11 up. So if we have just 2 positive days here, basically, they don't have to be big, on any point in this week, we're going to get another 13 sell signal. Very, very interesting. But the S&P was down 3 on Friday. Here's the NDX, also down 3. Remember, both of these are really boring because we had triple expiration. We've got stocks up 1. I mean, the markets were very flat on Friday. Biotech's down 35. Remember, there's a 13 sell signal in place. Right when we had some great construction on the biotechs for a potential breakout, you get a 13 sell signal. The VIX up 7 cents, but it's at 11.28. This has been the problem. Look how bad the volatility has been. The volatility readings have been. I mean, they've only gotten worse since the election. This is just horrible. TRIN, big reading. We had a lot of big TRIN readings, 1.74. Puts the 10-day moving average at 1.19. That's one of the highest we've seen. Not that that is meaningful to anything here. Nasdaq volume on Friday was about 2.6 billion, but remember that's just the triple expiration, wrapping up the volume, the options contracts, rolling them into stocks and closing the positions volume. And you can see that every 3 months that happens. Back in December there was a day. Back in September there was a day. So those every 3 months you get that. It's usually a dead day in the market with big volume. Unfortunately, so it's meaningless. Advanced decline ratio on Friday was positive 491 on the Nasdaq, positive 612 on the New York. Google gains $2.37 after a 13 sell signal on Thursday, or was that Wednesday maybe? But it hasn't rolled over yet. Apple up 70 cents. Let's take a look at this. This could be another day up on Apple. Will give you a 13 sell signal there as well. So Google and Apple with sell signals, potentially the S&P, the index. Wow. A lot of big sell signals potentially lining up here. Amazon had a 13 sell signal and hasn't made a new high ever since, back about a month ago, but it's been flat. Lost one on on Friday, and Netflix was up 72 cents. That's pretty flat for Netflix. Tesla down 55 cents on Friday to 261. TLT up 74 cents. The Dow Jones lost 19 points, again flat. And then the Goldman Sachs down 428. I'm still short this one through options. There was a 13 sell signal back a while ago. Got another month on the options. This is basically the break-even point for me at 244. So I think this one's got some room to the downside. And look at the volume on that move down, by the way. So that was interesting. All right, let's take a look at the intra-week action from last week, just to show you what happened. So Monday you opened very flat on Monday. Again, these boring days. Tuesday was maybe the best volatility of the week out of the gate. Gap down and pushed lower, came back, but ended up closing again right where we opened. Wednesday, a slight gap up. We're drifting higher, and then the Fed announcement comes out, and the language pushed the market a little bit higher after that, but that was the high of the week. And then look at this, Thursday, you get small gap up and you just kind of drift lower. Friday, you open flat. And of course, you expect Friday to be nothing because it's triple expiration. So when you look at the whole week, you're up 5 points on the S&P. The high to low of the week is not even 30 points. It's the same range we've been in. All right, so let's take a look at the economic data that's coming out this week and see there isn't much. Like I said, we don't have a Fed announcement, so everything else will be on the list here. We don't have any of our big data points. Monday is the 20th, so no data. Tuesday, current account balance an hour before the bell. Wednesday, MBA mortgage index at 7 a.m. FHFA housing price index at 9. Existing home sales at 10. The weekly crude oil inventory number at 10:30. None of that's earth-shattering. Thursday, initial and continuing jobless claims. New home sales at 10. Natty gas at 10:30. That's the weekly number. And then that's Thursday, and then Friday, durable orders at an hour before the bell. So a week of no data to drive anything. You got the new options cycle starting. Again, I would look for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to be the better trading days. I will be taking one more vacation. I will not miss any days completely here. I will be on the road Wednesday night, so I'll be around Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday all day. Rich is back. Mark will be here. Wednesday night I'll be traveling. I'll be here Thursday and Friday morning, and that's it. And that'll wrap up my spring break with the family. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading week.